Radiant team ban.
Ah, come on.
DC's turn to ban. Radiant team ban.
Oh.
DC's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Radiant
ban.
team pick.
Me. Yeah, true. Sounds accurate to me.
Remaining.
I'm into it.
5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Yeah, it's pretty good. But Meepo will be taken out. Sand King will be grabbed first overall for Warriors Gaming Unity. And yeah, should be good.
DC's turn to pick.
Slaughter.
Radiant team pick.
Oh yeah. Yep. This is I like the aggression coming out already. So this will be probably your 4 and 5 position. Slaughter never really run as a core or
10 seconds
in that
remaining.
role anymore. So it's a very good roaming support hero. Trying to put pressure on different lanes, getting those bounty runes early on should be good. It's kind of interesting. They pick these like no cores, so it keeps the draft kind of open-ended for DC and really for Warriors Gaming Unity as well in terms of where they play the Sand King. Yes.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Yeah. I mean, and it's starting to see more play, not just from the SEA region, but I think in general, we're starting to see a lot more of that Sand King, Europe, NA especially. So we'll see if that's going to continue on here. But for now, we're into our second ban phase. The Weaver is taken out. What else do they want to get rid of?
When will Mason play Necro?
10 seconds remaining.
Maybe now, maybe in the series. Probably not, but you never
Andy,
know.
is Necro
5
playable?
seconds remaining. Reserve time. DC's turn to ban.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fair. Yeah.
It's an interesting problem to have, but it is a fair point.
I don't know. I just... Oh, man. I wish Necro was
5
picked more often.
seconds
Like, there's a couple heroes. We talked about Pugna earlier. Necro as well. I think mentioning Diffuser Blades kind of own them from time to time. But, we'll see. Yeah, what? Oh, really? Wait, so, yeah, that's true, actually. Yeah. No, yeah. Yeah, that is a good point, actually, now that you think about it. And I'm so glad those are gone, by the way. I think they made the game so weird. It wasn't fun. Was it? Okay.
I loved watching Lions feed and then come back and TP in and then die and then run in and die
Radiant
again.
team ban.
Yeah.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, but conversely, those offlane players, they're going to find a way to gripe about it because, again,
Reserve
their
time.
shrines aren't working for the first 5 minutes. It is kind of interesting. I also do think the taking the amount of shrines down in the base was a fantastic idea. So often we see around shrines, if you're pushing and you're trying to take high ground, you like take that fight a little bit further in the base than maybe you intended, and they just shrine up and they turn the fight around. You have to be so careful because you can lose so much advantage just based off of that fight alone.
DC's turn to pick. Radiant team pick.
Mm-hmm.
10 seconds remaining.
And you know what would be even scarier too is if they went Darkseer for DC, threw the Iron Shell on top of these heroes.
DC's turn to pick.
That's the question, isn't it? I'm just assuming, but I don't know, man. I feel like, and again, Darkseer is just a hero that I'm really surprised is not picked more often or banned more often. I think that hero is still very strong, but I don't know. We'll see.
5 seconds remaining.
Well, here we go. Chen for WG.Unity.
Yeah,
we did see this.
That was the IGV Super Chen that they played and they won with against WarriorsGaming.Unity.
Yeah, so this is what they lost to get in this
Radiant
situation.
team
Interesting that they prioritize it here.
Right.
And into an equally interesting pick. That's going to be an enigma for Digital Chaos.
Yeah. Like DK mid,
10
perhaps?
seconds remaining.
Something like that.
5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be kind of all in, you're right. And we'll see if that's going to be the case. I think they just want to have the Chen just for a little bit of added push and kind of
Tinker.
they could fight around taking some of these towers. Now they have the Tinker.
DC's
That's
turn to ban.
late game here if they want it. Dear God. Okay.
They have so much of an advantage in just the wave equilibrium with their heroes. They're going to be able to keep lanes out. It's going to be a very long time before DC have an answer to a Tinker. And I mean, that's assuming they even have an answer. Because most of the time
10
when you play against
seconds
Tinker, you
remaining.
want something like a Nyx or you want a Vision hero. Like Spectre and Zeus are two
5
common ones that people
seconds
refer to
remaining.
because you can just spot the hero. But they're not going to have anything like that, so they have to anticipate his movement.
Reserve
I do
time.
like Warriors Gaming and their draft quite a bit here.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty solid start. Night Stalker was another thing to keep in mind, and that was a hero that was banned out in a lot of our games recently too. First overall bans from the Night Stalker, but again, I don't think DC have a way to fit that Night Stalker into their lineup right now. I mean, they're looking at a mid. I mean, theoretically, so yeah, in terms of a vision hero, that's what they need, but we'll see. Razor.
They're more scared of
Radiant
the push,
team
so they just
ban.
take out the jug. Healing ward would have been amazing for their team. I don't mind Razor, but
Oh,
I don't mind Razor, but I think that you'd have to buy like Aghanims or
10
something to
seconds
help high
remaining.
ground a bit more. I think we actually saw EG do that. Didn't like RTZ
5
buy
seconds
like Aghanims as
remaining.
a second item or something like that?
on the Razor.
Yeah, on Razor.
Radiant team pick.
If I were DC, I'd probably just go all in on being able to fight and pick heroes and just go like Puck or something. It offers some decent wave clear. It's a little bit sketch to play against Disruptor, but having another vessel for the Lifestealer to get in and having just a guaranteed initiate can be very, very good, because you want to just split up the map as much as you can and get like 2 heroes who can always catch, pressure the lanes really hard, make the Tinker scared to TP around. I think it would be pretty nice for them. For Warriors Gaming, they just need a tower hitter, basically.
Yeah, we'll see what it's going to be.
So Storm Spirit banned out by WG.
Yeah. I'm with you on the Puck, though. That I'm interested. But yeah, what are Warriors Gaming going to pick? They need, theoretically, a safe laner. So it is Luna, which they picked for Nana a couple, rather yesterday, actually. Did very well with it, despite being down early on in the game.
Oh,
DC will go Ember Spirit. Wow.
Ember's actually pretty good to start fights as well. I always underestimate that hero's catch potential, but he is very good at being able to start fights without a lot of items. Because you can just Remnant forward, Sleight of Fist. It's a... How to describe it? It's like a very long range that you're not expecting. You know, his ability to get in and just get a Searing Chains on someone. So it does kind of solve another one of their issues, which is get in. It deals a lot of damage. It can clear waves. It's hard to catch for Warriors Gaming as well. So a really nice pick. I like it.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. DC have a lot of ways to... I don't know, for WG.Unity, anytime you pick up a Chen, there's so much pressure to make that early game really count. And I guess in this situation, it's just to bridge the gap till Tinker and Luna can take over. But, you know, there's a point where it almost feels like 4v5 Dota, 45 minutes in, where Chen is just not that effective. Suns fan, we need a prediction, buddy. Who's taking this first game? This is elimination, pal.
Yep. I also will say DC.
I'm with it. That's 3. Draskell?
I think the lanes for DC are going to be rough. I actually think that Warriors Gaming can take this.
Prepare for battle.
Okay. Woo. There we go. Maudie, that's you. Take it away.
So it is game 1 here in a best-of-3 series. Winner moves on. Loser is done. And we'll see who comes out on top. Digital Chaos, one of their first big lanes after the Kiev Major. Warriors Gaming.Unity. A bit of a different lineup as of recently. They've changed the roster around a bit, and we'll see how it goes. We saw them almost beat IG Vitality, and perhaps they should have. They were very far, well, not even very far ahead, but the momentum was in their way in that game, and it kind of just slipped away from them. So they're looking to keep the momentum in their hands in this game. We'll see if that's going to be the case. But for now, the way the lanes are shaping up, we have Xnova sort of towards top with Kangaroo as well. And then, of course, Nana is going to be nearby as he's going to grab the bounty rune and head mid. Do you think that Xnova is going to just start in the jungle? Maybe, where's his first rotation to for this Chen?
He can pretty much go anywhere. That's the beauty of Chen in this game. When you have a Rubik on the other team, and I guess a support Slardar, they don't really do anything against the creeps. That's what we saw in the IGV game, right? The Chen creep was just stronger than like a freaking tri-lane. They're just so beastly to deal with. What they can do, though, is they can just invade because there's no creep spawning, obviously, until the 30-second mark. They can force Xnova to the other side. It'll make his rotation a little bit slower. If they want to stick around, you know, Slardar can block a camp as well, block a large camp if he wants. But yeah, I think it's pretty much up to him. Tinker should be okay mid against Ember. I don't see Nana really struggling, but if Xnova makes a rotation, that lane is like super tough.
Yeah, and I imagine that's going to happen early on in the game. Also depends on the creeps that he gets. It looks like Bulba is going to be warding up some of this jungle here. He drops his sentry over towards this hard camp near the Shrine and the Rune, and he's just going to block the other camp with his body. So making sure that there's no access over here on this side of the map, as you mentioned. And it maybe waste a little bit of time for Xnova. Maybe he wanted to start over there. But he will still find a creep, which is a Dark Troll Summoner to start things off.
It's a bit unfortunate, too. They had pre-placed the sentry, assuming that they were going to go for a camp block, but the sentry is out of range.
Alrighty, Kangaroo taking a harass in the top lane a little bit, so they're in Crush to come out. How's this lane for Sand King? Lifestealer and Slardar. Also a Rurik here as well. Can he really get farmed?
I think as long as Kangaroo doesn't let himself get too low, he shouldn't really die. But I'm not sold on him getting like free farm or anything. Nice thing about Sand King is you can always change up your skill build to fit whatever situation you're given. So I think he'll eventually get what he needs.
Yeah. He's going to start out with Caustic. He actually just skilled it up now. Should be able to get some CS in the meantime. Bulba's going to rotate mid. However, there is a ward that is going to spot this out. And, well, maybe he knows, but he doesn't have a sentry to D-ward. So, trying to play around mid. Abed, of course, he's got the Flame Guard, but it's already been used. Level 2 is holding skill point. Probably going to go for Searing Chains. And already, Abed's doing pretty well in terms of the CS 7 and 3 versus the 4 and 2. But again, it's very early on here.
Yeah, he's winning his lane. A little bit surprising. Usually the first few waves, Tinker, he just lasers, and then you just get the free deny or the free CS. So I'm a bit surprised to see Abed doing as well as he is on the 2-minute mark. But like you said, it's still very early.
I don't know. I guess you have Flame Guard, which helps out. Nana's not really spamming the laser or anything. Let's see if he changes it up. Ooh, Invis Rune. Nana wants this, and is going to get it too. So this takes the rune away from somebody like Bulba, which would have been sketchy. Forev is going to be in the jungle for now. The wave is pushing in. Chuan is just getting some last hits, but he might be able to get some of that experience towards his tower. We'll see. But jungling Enigma is just fine, I think. He's going to be able to get farm regardless.
It's a nice response to the Chen, because it means that if the Chen's early rotations don't do anything, that the Enigma will just provide a guaranteed benefit. A lot of the jungle heroes of old, like Enchantress and Chen, kind of suffer from the same thing. It's okay, your early rotations fail, you're pretty much just behind. But Enigma passively generates golden experience just by existing on the map, and he doesn't have to gank, because he'll be able to go into like core items if he wants to go for Blink, which he doesn't have queued up right now, or Midas, or you know, what have you. So it's kind of like this just passive gold game that DC are going to have, and great team fight and push potential later on.
Yeah, I mean, the Enigma is sketchy as hell. And do they have any real way, like if it gets to DKB of canceling Black Hole? I don't think so. No, not that I can see. Wait, does the Dark Troll and Snare go through DKB?
I don't remember.
He doesn't have one right now. We'll look at it later. The rotation comes from X-Nova top. Here comes these creeps. And this is what you were talking about. And we did see it in that WG.Unity IGV game. The supports could not deal with these. But so far, little to no pressure has been applied from X-Nova. However, he's looking to change that as he has a Seto Tormentor. The Hadoukens were the biggest problem in the early game, as Wen was getting crushed by them on his Disruptor. And already throwing one out, Mason will take a hit, but he is a life stealer, so he should be just fine. But this forces out the Slaughter to rotate elsewhere, and Dubu not able to pull anymore. He's just going to stack up some camps instead.
Keeping the supports under leveled is kind of nice, but you can already see Dubu, he's left, he's going in on this Disruptor here.
This could be a huge kill. Glimpse back, Wen in some trouble. Malphite, they need maybe 1 or 2 more auto attacks, and Forev will draw first blood. So that's exactly what you were talking about. He just rotates out of lane, and he finds an immediate kill, or at least an assist to help him out. That's huge.
I'm not sure what he was doing over there, like trying to soak EXP or something, but you're a Disruptor against an Enigma. You don't have any way of dealing with Eidolons this early in the game, and you're standing on the low ground by a shrine. That was just a very interesting idea that he had. He's just walking right back there as the rest of DC are smoking around towards mid.
Trying to, I was going to say he's trying to ward, and he is going to be able to do so. Now mid lane telekinesis, there's the Searing Chains about to come out. Slithering Crush first, Searing Chains should follow up. And maybe not even needing it. Fairy Fire coming through. It's going to be the Fade Bolt that secures the kill. So Abed actually is able to keep some of his mana and not force out those Searing Chains. And they're going to already start putting pressure on this Tier 1 tower mid, as you can see.
This is a very bad sign for Warriors Gaming to have a laning phase going like this. Even though they're 2 kills behind, they are relatively close in regards to golden experience. It just feels a bit lackluster when your Chen hasn't really accomplished much other than pressuring the supports a tiny bit, and Dubu made the perfect response, right? He TPs across the map, gets his team a kill, smokes mid, gets another kill. So his early game hasn't really been slowed, I think, as much as X-Nova may have wanted it to be.
Right.
But at the same time, Kangaroo's level 5, and he's got 1,000 gold already. And Mason's going to be forced back to base on top of that. So even though DC are pressuring this mid lane, you know, Warriors Gaming are counter-pressuring the safe lane.
Yeah, that's the thing. You were talking about him getting free farm, but when the supports are gone, he's absolutely able to get it. And he's going to have his Tranquils if he wants them, and then build right into that Blink Dagger, which again is a huge item. And, you know, this is a Chen. They're able to put some pressure and get a Tier 1 tower at 6 minutes into the game. So, yeah, they won't find some of these kills, but they will at least take some structural advantage here against DC.
They're getting some guaranteed value out of the pick, and that's really nice to see. not necessarily about getting the kills so much as it is just getting an objective. And
Right.
at this early stage, support Slardar and Rubik just look at that and go, yeah, we're not gonna hang around there. So while Nana is suffering a tiny bit because of this, losing the tier 1 in the safe lane this early on opens up a lot of opportunities later on for the Sand King, because he'll have that earlier blink, and he'll be able to find, you know, ingression points into the jungle, and then he'll just find kills.
Yeah.
Is that a word? Ingression? Ingress? Ingression? I don't know.
Ingress, I believe. Egress and ingress, I believe. I might be. I don't know. Steering change, nope. Abed just trying to get out. Slithering Crust to come through with March doing a lot. Triple Remnant gets the kill. He's solo. Can he get out? The Fairy Fire's there as well. He's so speedy as the Haste Rune. They will lose both the Slaughter and the Rubik, but they get the kill on the mid-tinker. And now, though, WarriorsGaming.Unity get to transition this into a push. By the way, Chuan rotating over. He had Eclipse. He got off a Lucent Beam. Didn't need the Eclipse. So they still have that, and they can start putting pressure. And the double Wild Wing Tornadoes coming out from WarriorsGaming.Unity.
I like the counter pressure. I like the Luna TP as well. They have the Eclipse up if they want to kind of stick around. They also have their mid shrine. The issue with sticking around too long is that DC have mid completely warded. Like, there's a ward behind the tier 1 and the tier 2. There's a ward by the top rune spot. So they have a ton of information if Warriors Gaming were to stick around and try to fight in the vicinity. But looks like they're just going to go ahead and go back to what they did before and tanking the gank.
Good glimpse. Remnant through, though. Searing Chains to follow up. Level 4. There is Eclipse. Something to keep in mind. Abed does not have a Remnant. But here comes Bulba throwing up the Slithering Crush. And Forev thinking, okay, who am I going to go on? He's already used Malphus. He does have Black Hole when taking a lot of damage. Not dead yet. The Eidolons need maybe one more auto attack between all of them to get the kill. And they're not able to find it. They're not fast enough at all. So a good attempt there. When somehow survives. And it really was the glimpse, I think, that did the job. Yeah,
very nice reaction. Unfortunate that DC walked in as he was on the high ground, and they were on the low ground. Here on Nana.
They were setting up for a gank. This might work out pretty well in favor of WarriorsGaming.Unity. Now the epicenter getting jammed as well. Abed is in some trouble, and he's going to fall. That Smoke of Deceit gank comes out, and yes, they wanted Nana, but between the two heroes, they did not have enough damage, and it just gave enough time for WarriorsGaming.Unity to rotate back over to that mid lane.
They were smoked for so long. I almost think that smoke was going to wear off by the time they were able to get back into the jungle fight, but being able to effectively use Epicenter without Blink, very nice. Warriors Gaming. The lanes still, like, tiny bit favoring them, more so because they got the tower than the net worth of the experience.
Yeah. And Kangaroo's actually getting really close to this blink too. That's the scary thing, you know. And this is all being done without the blink dagger from him. And when he gets it, it's going to be pretty problematic for DC. But again, you still have some good heroes that are farming well. Forev is almost up to his Midas. The Lifestealer is doing the same, so it looks like they're going for more of that late game situation here on DC, Andy.
Well, it's not necessarily a bad plan to go late game when you have the Enigma, for example. Like, Lifestealer, I wouldn't say is a super great late game core, because, you know, you get kited and stuff like that. People buy 4 staffs, glimmers, or whatever. But having Enigma with no BKB interrupts, his 6 slot is very scary if the game were to get to that stage. But I think more than anything else, it's going to be like the early mid-game fights that decide a lot of it. If Nana can recover from his kind of not-so-great laning phase, and the Sand King, you know, Kangaroo's Blink Dagger does a lot of work, then there is a good chance that Warriors Gaming can kind of just hold the map equilibrium in their favor for a really long time with that Tinker and the Luna just pushing out waves all the time, and just have like your Sand King or whatever playing on the map.
Man, you were talking about Nana. I did not know he was this far behind. He is not really close to bots. He has
they
Solar
lived in
Bottle.
his lane, man. They camped him.
That's true. I mean, there was a lot going on, so we were focusing on top and perhaps bottom to a certain extent. But Nana was getting ganked a couple of times, and finally is getting some room to work with. I say that, but here comes Abed. He will get the tower. He pops the haste rune. Remnants out as well, and so just like that, they have the tier 1 tower now gone, which means another access point for DC if they want to invade the enemy jungle.
Being able to get this consistent pressure on the Tinker is going to stop as soon as the Blink Dagger comes out. I know it's something that we harken back to a lot, but it really is crazy important for both teams. And in that same sense, Slardar needs his Blink too. He's obviously going to be a little bit slower because he's playing in position 4 or 5 in this game, and once those items are out, it's going to be like who starts the better engagement. Especially when you have these teamfight abilities like Black Hole and Epicenter and Eclipse and Static Storm as well. To some degree, you know, Warriors Gaming, they have amazing team fight up until BKBs are out on the field. I would say a lot easier to execute as well than what DC currently have.
Yeah. We'll see if that's going to be the case. And again, we keep talking about it, but Kangaroo is about to have this Blink Dagger, and this item, as you mentioned, is huge. So he'll get this, and we'll probably see a smoke up from Warriors Gaming.Unity, I would imagine, trying to find a pick or two. There is some good vision, and that's really what it comes down to for both teams. You talk about these team fights and who gets the initiation, and a lot of that is a vision battle. So if DC can spot this smoke or spot the rotations or spot the Blink Dagger getting picked up, they might be able to avoid a gank coming in from Kangaroo. But he picks it up from the side shop. He will TP bottom, and they'll smoke immediately, as expected. They're already going to head over to Bulba bottom lane, but he's going to sprint himself away. I don't know. They might not find anybody in this bottom lane.
Even if they don't find a hero, just the pressure of having the Luna and the Chen in the lane will pretty much secure the tower. Yeah. And currently, 4F doesn't have Blink. He went Midas first, so his Blink is going to be delayed. There is a wraparound, though. DC with the smoke.
Yeah, they're going to try to find something here with themselves. Dubu walking up now. Abed is also smoked in the sidelines. He just picked up the Veil. He's level 9. They're going to blow away Slaughter. It looks like the Static Storm comes out. Sleight of his Searing Chains. He's looking for that Remnant back in, and will. They'll get the kill. They immediately blow up the Chen, and they're looking for more. Open wounds, Chuan. He has already used the Eclipse. He's in trouble. Gonna get caught. Searing Chains drop down as well. The wraparound gank is beautifully done from DC. And that Blink Dagger does not do as much as they would have liked it to on the Sand King.
It was a really nice play from Abed. He gets glimpsed, has the remnants down, and then waits so that after the glimpse ends, he's able to immediately bring himself back into the fight, lands the Veil, huge amount of damage. They're going to get Gwen, I think, out of the tower on top of this.
Yeah, Epicenter coming in, though, already onto Farab. Gets absolutely dropped so quickly. If they find any more, Abed is a bit low. He's going to try to remnant away. Dubu will be there to help him out as well. By the way, still Eclipse, which is pretty nifty on the Rubik. Not used yet. Blink Burrow coming out. They want more. The Lifestealer could be huge. He does have Rage in 1, and he's underneath the tower, so they won't go for anything else. But in the meantime, Chuan is respawned. Yes, they will lose forever, but they do stop the push down bottom, which is probably the more important thing here.
Just overstaying a little bit, DC. They get the kills. They say, okay, let's try to get some counter pressure. Abed goes in, but the thing about the Ember Spirit is he usually has an escape plan. So if heroes follow him, it's usually to their own demise. So, a little unfortunate that DC kind of overplayed their hand a tiny bit. But the main reason that went so badly for Warriors Gaming is because when they took the initial engagement by the tier 1, Nana was showing up and he didn't have bombs. Oh god, Juan.
Juan not only will lose the courier, but maybe his life as well. They're going to throw up the corrosive phase. One more auto attack. Blink Burrow Strike is not enough. Sand King will try to run. Bulbo was thinking about chasing him down, but now they're just going to leave. They've already forced a lot of rotation. Sleight of his Searing Chains. Wen is so squishy, and he's going to get caught. They're going to use the Static Storm. Perfectly timed. The Shrine is there as well. And Lifestealer cannot get out of the silence. Abed trying to remnant across the river. He will be able to do so. Kangaroo looking for that Blink Burrow. It's on cooldown, but the heat-seeking missiles do the job for Nana. Wen turns it around with a beautifully timed Static Storm. Perfect.
It seems like they get themselves into these situations where it looks like they're winning, and then Warriors Gaming immediately turn around. You know, and Kangaroo, again, finding another burrow here.
He's got creeps. He's got X-Nova. There's going to be the test of faith. Brev looks like he will fall. No way to survive and get through here. Another burrow strike to come in, and that's going to be Kangaroo getting the kill. So just like that, a couple of quick kills going over to Warriors Gaming.Unity and giving some more space for Nana, which is what he desperately needs.
I would actually say all these like small skirmishes are favoring Warriors Gaming. The Sand King is doing a tremendous amount. He's gonna go for the stun here again.
Oh man, he seems so squishy. He just gets blown up instantly. And again, he does have the Blink now at the very least, so that's good. Meanwhile, Hand of God, bottom lane, some action happening. Abed forced Remnant away. Dubu was coming in with the Fade Bolt, and Eclipse still stolen for maybe a second longer, but that's gonna be it. Is he gonna use it? Yeah. He's like, all right, it's going away. I might as well get some of these creeps. He only gets one of them, I think, which is a little sad.
If you look at the map right now, DC are playing almost completely blind. They have like one ward deep in Warriors Gaming side of the map. So when you're like showing on the map and trying to secure your Blink Dagger like Mobile was there, sure, it looks like a little bit of a feed or whatever, but as long as you get your item, then you can go back to what your game plan is, which is initiate fights for the team, get good counter stuns, get the lockdown for Abed to burst.
Yeah, and this is going to make these Nake's bombs a whole lot easier, and the armlet comes out at the same time. But another big item is going to be X-Nova's mech on that Shen. Epicenter being channeled. They're going to attempt to go into Abed. He does have the flame guard up, and now the static's going to follow up as well, and he is in trouble. Drop down. Nana gets the kill. He throws up the heat-seeking missiles, and that's more than enough. And now has money for his Blink Dagger. They might get the tier 1 as well. Forev, he does have the Blink, but he has to use it to get away. They were not set up. Glimpse back. Can they find any more pressure? Blink up in 6 seconds. I don't think they can defend this tower. The Glimpse will come out. Meanwhile, will they go for the next bomb? Looks like they're just going to back up and away. Forev will be the one to try to defend this. They're wrapping all the way around. They do have the next bomb ready. The sprint is up. Can they back Blink? So they're crush coming in. Black hole! It's going to be under 4. And they will get the lift off in time. Looks like the epicenter not there. It's going to be the Eclipse that comes out instead. Lucid Beam coming through. Nagami, all the backing up. Heat-seeking missiles flying as well. And they will not lose a single hero there. Oh, man. That was such a huge initiation from DC. And they couldn't find anybody. Oh, my God. Oh, it was the glimpse that did it. It was the glimpse from the Disruptor. Oh. All right, well. This gives me a second. All right. We're good to go. Man, that felt like they could have gotten so much there for DC, and they couldn't find anything, Andy.
Yeah, it was a nightmare. The glimpse definitely saved the fight. Wen was sitting in a great spot. Had he been any closer and he was in that, that was a full team wipe. Everyone was dead. But fortunately, the one person on the team who needed to be out of the fight was out of the fight.
Yep.
So unfortunate that Forev couldn't make anything big out of the black hole. But that's just, you know, a little bit of a... It's a foreboding thing when you see a black hole like that, and later in the game you say, oh god, what if he had BKB? What do we do if that happens and he has BKB? Then Wen can't save us, right? That's the scary thing if you're Warriors Gaming currently.
And that's the exact thing he's building into as anticipated. He's already got 1,000 gold soul 1 component done if he wants to buy the Ogre Club. And he is a Midas too, so not only does he farm pretty quickly with the Eidolons, but the Midas will help out as well. Somebody we haven't really talked about is Mason. He has his armlet. He's going to be building a Desolator. And then he'll be able to shred some of these heroes. Twan on the Luna looking to build. Is he going to pick up the Mask of Madness? What's flying out? Yeah, the Morbid Mask. He's going Mask of Madness again. It was Nana playing the Luna last time. This time it's Twan, and he's going for sort of the same build. Mask of Madness was picked up first, but this is such a good farming tool for Luna. Surprisingly so.
Well, it got buffed, so, I mean, it's incredible. The build-up's better, too. There's no recipe anymore. It's just like you get the quarterstaff and the Morbid Mask. The Morbid Mask is cheaper by 100 gold, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just insane. It gives damage, gives you the old benefits that it used to on top of that. So it's just straight up a better item.
Yeah, it helps a lot. But the question I have is, you know, Black Hole is down. They don't want to fight into the BKB Enigma, so can they pressure down these towers before that big team fight is up for DC?
I don't think they'll be able to. I don't think they'll be able to end the game that fast. But if they can contest Roche, it would definitely be a step in the right direction.
Yeah, they're gonna head over there. Kinetic Field is gonna be dropped. They're gonna bring in the creeps as well. And they've pushed DC completely out of the roast, but the illusion will spot Warriors Gaming heading in. And this could fall pretty quickly if they have any armor reduction, but we'll see. Another illusion coming in. We'll spot them inside the Roche pit. Can DC do anything about this? Again, no black hole for 65 seconds, but they can go for an X-Bomb. Looks like DC are backing up for now. They might just let this go to Warriors Gaming.Unity. It is taking a long time, but
they just don't have the team fight to go into the pit without black hole. That's the biggest concern. Even if they did, this is a really awkward fight for Enigma. Look at Wen's positioning. They have an idea that black hole's most likely down anyway. That's why they feel safe standing so many heroes there. But again, no BKB. So even if black hole was up, it's a tall order to make Forev go in and just hit 5 heroes. Like, Luna can stop it, Gen Creeps can stop it, Disruptor can stop it, Sand King can stop it. Like, he actually needs that item before he's able to feel confident in going to that team.
oh, Dubu. Luckily, he was able to TP out just in time. Nana came in. Kangaroo was en route with that Link Furrow strike. He also now has a 4-stab too, so Sand King's effective range is even higher. Meanwhile, DC trying to split push bottom with Abed and Forev. Abed's going to head out. He is going to be building into that Blink next. He went for the Veil into Boots of Travel, and now Blink will be next. So we'll see if he can't get enough done there. And then Nana, he has his Blink and now the Aether Lens as well. And I don't think they can really deal with him anymore. You know,
Abed
they
can
sort
still
of have
potentially
rewards.
find him. That's the thing. Because he is going for that blink. If he anticipates where Nana blinks, he can catch him. I mean, it's hard, but it's doable.
Right.
And to be fair, during the later stages of the game, I'm not even sure if he really cares about catching the Tinker so much, if that makes sense, because if the Luna dies, the push is dead, right? So if you have this engagement where you go in, where you BKB black hole the Luna, what is Warriors Gaming counterplay to that? They just go, oh, our Luna's dead. I guess we can't push.
Yeah.
That's the biggest fear right now for Warriors Gaming, is they have this inevitability factor of the Enigma.
And the creep equilibrium will still be an issue, as you can see already. They're trying to keep bottom pushed in, but top, they're going to go for a trade. I don't think they can fight without BKB Enigma and while Aegis is up as well. And it looks like they're going to just give away this top tier 2. Maybe push into the tier 3. Can they take the bottom tier 2? It's like half HP. So
They're just trying to get everything they can with the Aegis. It makes sense. You have this window where you feel like it's very difficult for the opponent to take a fight, but you are very scared of the late game potential. So you just group up, you run around, you go through the motions, you get every single tower that you can. You have this Tinker teleporting around the map, stopping any would-be split pushers, and you just hope that you can potentially, even just cracking a tier 3 would be nice, because then you can take out shrines. That limits Abed's mobility, it limits smoke ganks, it makes it so your Tinker doesn't get picked off. There's a lot of benefit to just getting the tier 3 down.
yeah. Easier said than done, pushing high ground with these heroes. They do have a chance, they now have the Luna going to work, but I mean, it's not easy. But, I mean, Ember Spirit's making his home in the bottom lane. They will smoke on the side of Warriors Gaming.Unity and head maybe in that direction. They're going down bottom for now, but will they find anybody? Everybody else is TP'd out. It looks like they knew this was coming. DC seemed to have figured this out. They might be going for a smoke of their own, actually. The Infest Bomb ready. See Bulba trying to go into that Midas as well. They're not going to smoke. They had one, but they decided against it, and they're going to head top. But there's a ward to scout this. Nana blinks away. They're trying to get out. The March is going to be dropped down as well. The EC Midas, he blinks further into the tree line, and he's just out. So keeping these lanes pushed in as much as possible. And as you mentioned, they're going through the motions. They're going to push bottom now, too. They're probably going to take this tier 2 tower.
Oh, Nana.
He might get caught here. Malphus will come through the Searing Chains Remnant. Hand of God. Will it keep him alive? The Flame Guard. It does enough damage. Abed gets the kill and takes away the killing spree from Nana. A very big kill, and that will help keep these lanes a little bit more even and in favor of DC.
It's a really big kill. That's probably the best hero they can have taken out at this stage. Because you don't really want to go into the other core knowing that the Tinker can always teleport. It's kind of like playing against a Spectre. You want to kill the hero that has the most mobility, so that if the enemy team stays on your side of the map for too long and that mobile hero is down, you just get the free team fight win. So very nice pickoff for DC. Looks like they're going to try to counter pressure the tier 1. There is a ward as well. Bulba just placed it. So if they try to defend this, which I'm not sure if they will, seems like a pretty hard tower to defend.
Well, they don't have all 5 for DC, although Abed has bots back in 8. Brev would like to be there. His BKB is now done. He just has to buy the recipe. This is where things get interesting, I think, Andy. Oh. Oh,
or
this TP.
Not interesting, because it's paused.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I think he should be able to get the shift Q blink off.
I would hope.
It depends on where he blinks, right? If he goes straight back, he could get caught by the Slardar. If he goes to the right, he could get caught by the Slardar. If he blinks left and down, he'll be fine.
Yeah, left is the ideal positioning. He could also just cancel the TP too. I mean.
Yeah, but it's Nana. Nana's crazy.
That's fair enough.
When I said he's crazy, I mean he's very good and he's actually crazy. Like he does crazy things. Yeah,
he may very well get caught here. We'll see. A DC from Abed. Hopefully they're gonna fix it. Hopefully not anything too rough in terms of computer issues, but as it stands right now, we are sitting at 23 minutes into the game. There is a slight net worth advantage for Warriors Gaming.Unity. They have, of course, taken Roche. They still have the Aegis for about 35 seconds. Abed will reconnect into the game. We'll get going shortly. And again, man, like, it's good that Warriors Gaming.Unity are getting these tier 2 towers. Taking that tier 3 would be the best possible case, but now there is that BKB for the Enigma. And so taking a 5-on-5 fight is a little bit easier for DC now that that item is up.
I think a little is maybe an understatement.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be
Radiant's
way
top tower
easier
is under
because there's
attack.
almost no pressure on them now
Radiant
in regards to,
structures are fortified.
okay, if our black hole doesn't land, we're in trouble. Let's get on the future.
And they all TP'd in. That's one way to do it. You just TP in Nana, and then everybody TP's behind him, and that's that.
Yeah, he did cancel the first one, though. I think he, like, canceled, rearm TP'd again.
Yeah.
Abed looking for him in the bottom lane as well. It's right past him.
He doesn't see him. Nana's going to be able to TP out already, and the March, being a nuisance, drops the flame guard down. He pops the invis. He's still looking. Kangaroo's also in the tree line, so a couple of heroes setting up bottom, perhaps. Abed is looking. Blink Burrow. He has the sentry perfectly placed, and they might find him. He's able to remnant out. Not yet. And he actually will get away. Nana trying to go for him as well, blinking forward, but they get the shrine off in time. Abed's still alive. That was so close. What a sentry drop. They must have seen him invis with that ward in lane. Woo.
That was pretty close.
Yeah.
The funny part about that was Abed actually delayed his remnant out. Like, he knew he wasn't going to die because he walked forward to try to get his Searing Chains off.
He's crazy too. That's just, he was pretty low, but he seemed to know the limits that he was at. Meanwhile, here's the Nake's Bomb coming out with Dubu smoke behind. They have the blink for the slaughter, trying to get to that might is still. Bulba slowed up a little bit. Dubu now working on his blink, but very far away. They might find this kill onto X-Nova. Slithering Crest will come out. The shrine is there. He can't even get it off. He gets blown away at the growth phase. Along with the Life Stealer's Desolator, shreds his armor away. Now TPing in is going to be Nana. He will blink out up onto the Uber Cliff. Now coming in, Black Hole onto 2. BKB pop from 4 up. Can they bring down these heroes? Tron is low. Static Storm. They'll get the kill, but can Mason get out alive? Abed on the other side. Sleight of Fist, Searing Chains coming in. It's an ultra kill for Mason. 4 down. And there it is. The BKB Black Hole from Frev, turning the fight around completely.
That is pretty much the best BKB reveal you can get on your Enigma. Obviously getting a Rampage would be slightly better, but I'd say, you know, worth it. Good 10-second BKB. You don't really get many of those. Once that happens the first time, you look at that and the enemy team goes, okay, he's got BKB, we have to play the game differently now. We need to smoke, we need to buy like a Hex on our Tinker player, which Nana is saving for right now, and we need to kill that hero before the fight. Like, just pick him off and then try to push, force him to buy back, and then you potentially open up like this opportunity where you can push. But otherwise, team fighting now is just a nightmare.
Can you abuse the Black Hole cooldown? I know in certain instances when you're a very cooldown reliant team, that's possible, but it's really just him, right? I mean, he's the only one with these big, long cooldowns that they're using. Black Hole in particular. Yeah.
Black Hole is definitely the ace in the hole for DC, but I don't think it's an all-encompassing thing, because you're still playing with a Chen on your team. That hero does have kind of a limited lifespan in regards to how useful he can be.
Right.
Bottom lane looks like the hunt is on here. But I do not think that DC are 100% reliant on that ultimate. It just means that when it's up, Warriors Gaming have to find like the perfect engage.
Yeah. Easier said than done. And he's going to build into the Octarine core too, which means that cooldown is going to be even lower. He, of course, goes for the 15% cooldown reduction with the talent, so that's pretty good. Octarine core plus the CDR talent is going to be really nice, but they're going to try their damnedest. They're going to pipe up, send the creeps up top. They're going to have Nana coming in as well, and at least try to pressure this tower. Meanwhile, Dubu getting stomped up at the Centaur Conqueror. Looks like he will get glimpsed back as well. It actually saves him, I believe. So he might have died there, but Wen saves him for a moment.
I think he wanted the TP first so that Bulba didn't need the glimpse, because if the stun had been a little bit faster, there's a potential chance that they could have killed the Luna, and killing Luna would have been big. Abed actually misses the Searing Chains there, still going in though.
They're going to find him, trying to find this kill. Blink Malefice, Midnight Pulse drop down. Nana is going to drop. Frev starting to make the moves on the map to really help DC out now. And they're starting to get a lot more confident, get more positioning for DC.
That was so weird. I could have sworn I heard the Searing Chains animation, but apparently I'm just deaf. That was something.
It happens
but yeah,
all the
like
time.
you mentioned.
It's just...
I saw him Sleight of Fist, and I assumed that he used Searing Chains, but he didn't. Which I thought was... I guess he just wanted to cancel the blink. Would make sense.
You wanted to be sure about those Searing Chains. But...
Contesting this is going to be really tough. Very, very tough. And this is cheese.
Black Hole's already back up, man. It's ready to go. And it's, again, BKB Black Hole at that. He already has a point booster working on that Octarine core. He can get the soul booster just about, and then he just needs that Mystic Staff. And with with the Midas, he's going to get there quicker than you would assume. So we'll see. Brosik Hayes helping out from Bulba. Mason going to work, open wounds, and it looks like WarriorsGaming.Unity are not going to be able to get there in time, even if they do head in that direction. It's already just about dropped, and so this is going to be Aegis as well as Cheese picked up. Mason will grab them both. Maybe give Cheese to Abed. We'll see if that's going to be the case.
I don't even know. I wonder if he needs it. Honestly.
Right.
It's very difficult for them to take him out. They have to dump everything into him. And if they do that, then there's the Blink BKB Enigma with a black hole. Very, very tough game currently for Warriors Gaming. I figured that they would be a little bit further ahead through the lanes, just by what the Chen was able to accomplish. They got 2 towers pretty early. They took the same lane tier 1, like, what, 6 minutes?
Yeah.
And they still just aren't able to apply enough pressure across the map to kind of seal the game. I think Nana's start was just rough.
Ooh, Remnant away. We will get out. Abed across the map and back over towards Roche. And going back to your point about him being unkillable, it's going to be even worse as he picks up this Linkage Sphere. He's very close to it as well. Just needs a couple more 100 gold, and he'll have it. And that's going to keep him even tankier and hard to bring down.
There's a lot of damage issues right now in Warriors Gaming. We talk a lot about the Enigma and how difficult it is to teamfight into them, but if you look at the way that Warriors Gaming kill heroes, it's almost all magic damage. So, Lifestealer, when we were talking about the pick during the draft, it is very good. Because you can just rage and you're immune to pretty much everything that Warriors Gaming can do outside of Luna right clicks. I guess being chain hexed, but at this point, that's why the black hole is still very scary, but
ooh, Hurricane flex forward, and she is done. They jump right on top of her and blow her away. The armor reduction doing a lot of work, and Kangaroo, he has to use himself just to try to get out, but I don't believe he'll be successful. Gets into the trees, Abed will find him. 2 dead, and now the Chen army getting dropped as well by Mason, getting glimpsed back. Rage is ready to go. They're going to jump forward. Frev trying to find a black hole. Will he use it here? BKB goes. They want Nana as well, and they will grab him. Dead for 63 seconds with no buyback, and that's just one positioning error from Chuan that turned into 3 deaths and a tier 2 tower on top of it all.
my goodness. It is so worth it to just blink black hole at Tinker every time.
Yep. Oh man, the Remnant back from Abed. Looking, but the Glimmer Cape is there. Abed waiting. He has another Remnant, but won't go for the kill. Instead, they're going to turn their attention towards the tower. With Desolator on the Lifestealer, they could do some serious work. They'll probably take this tier 3. Can they get Rex? There is Glyph. I don't know. This is actually kind of tough. They do have Aegis for Mason. And Abed's just going to run it back in momentarily. Glimpse brings him back. They're going to throw up the Static Storm. This could be pretty good. They've caught 3. 2 if you don't include that Aegis. Kagami, Bulba in trouble, will get dropped. Xnova getting chewed down by Mason, and they will grab the kill. They have a sentry there as well. Abed trying to leave Blink Burrow coming out. The Eclipse to come through, and he's going to remnant it up and try to get away, and it looks like he will be able to get up to the high ground. Glimpse back again, though. He's in trouble. He is low in HP, and he is going to fall to these auto attacks. Sleight of Fist, and there's that Thunder Strike. They get the kill. Wen gets it done, holding on to the Glimpse to the last second, and somehow WarriorsGaming.Unity get them off of that tower. Oh, and Frev forced to BKB as well. They're looking for a Brostrick. They've got it in 1. The Hex comes out as well. They might find more. Frev in trouble trying to get to the Shrine. Can he get it off in time? The Fade Bolt's there. The Burrow Strike is stolen. Kangaroo going to get turned on. The Yule Scepter will keep him alive. The Shrine is still ticking away. Finally getting the kill. The Open Wounds. The laser stolen by Dubu. Turns it. Oh, beautifully played from both the Rubik and Frev on that Enigma. Really solid stuff.
There were so many good plays that just happened throughout that like ridiculous chase, and also the high ground defense coming in from Warriors Gaming. The Static Storm was, I don't even think you could get a better Static Storm from that opening. You know, getting the Aegis, getting 2 other heroes caught, and it canceled the Slardar stun as well, because Bulba blinked in as soon as the Static Storm was dropped. You know, you time it very closely, and unfortunately he couldn't get his own stun off. Then Abed plays like out of his mind to live as long as he did. He went Remnant forward, casted Sleight of Fist, threw another Remnant back, then blinked, then got Glimpse, then dodged more autos with another Sleight of Fist, and, you know, obviously died at the end, but still very impressive.
It was
and
nuts.
then,
I thought he was going to make it out, man. It was crazy.
It was pretty insane.
But after all of that, there's still a 10,000 net worth advantage for DC. Abed is potentially going to get jumped on here now. I thought they might have been smoked, but there's an Observer Ward. And he's just going to Remnant all the way back. They're going to push bottom as well, but again, Nana is going to do his best to keep these waves pushed out. There is a Tinker ward up on this cliff here, so if he blinks up a bit further, they'll see him and they can go for a kill. In fact, they might do so now. They're going to try to push into the tower first and foremost. It is backdoor protected. More TPs coming in. They're maybe looking to defend this. Be canceled. They're going to smoke up together as a team. Speaking of smoke, so too will DC. They might run right into the entirety squad. Kagami jumps in. There's going to be Southern Crush. They might blow away when they get off that Hand of God, but it does little to nothing there. Now Blink telekinesis from Dubu. The laser going as well. The open wounds Chuan. Hurricane Flag. They're going to send it back potentially. Black Hole gets nothing to send back was there. Oh, for Rev. Luckily, he does have the Octarine core now, so it is only 100 seconds on cooldown. But that's huge. And now they're going to look towards another hero. Kangaroo down towards bottom. Sleight of Fist coming in. Remnant to follow up in that damage. But he will Burrow Strike and stay alive for now. Still looking for more. Is able to force down to the low ground and then blink away in time. The Hex maybe saving his life coming in from Nana, who's in the tree line, TPing away, and they can't quite find him. Forev blinks it with a Midnight Pulse, and they still cannot bring him down. Meanwhile, Nana blinking further into the tree line, trying to keep this wave pushed out as much as possible. And I think he's going to survive. Nana is just going crazy now in terms of keeping this wave even for them. Yeah, he's actually...
It's kind of what he has to do at this point. You got to keep, you know, as many lanes as you can away from your base, because if DC get there, it's very, very difficult to fight into them. A very nice send back too on the Luna. Clutch play, keeping themselves in the game. The Luna's having such a hard time staying in the fights though. The Lifestealer does so much damage, and she doesn't have a BKB either, so has to worry about Abed's damage output, you know, standing in Midnight Pulse, the Slardar stun. There's so many things.
I mean,
it's very tough for the lineup that Warriors Gaming have. Like, they're playing it pretty well given the circumstances, but it's just hero limitations.
It feels like if the Luna gets caught, she just dies in almost every situation. And that was one of the situations that didn't happen. It was because the sendback was there in time. And really, DC didn't have everybody ready to go. They can burst that Luna down so quickly. And you're right, she does not have that BKB. So Chuan's impact in this game has been, I want to say, minimal right now. Early on in the game, he had a couple of good eclipses. He was part of the tower pushing. And late game as well, Luna could be a monster. But they have to get to that point first and foremost.
I don't know if they're going to be given that chance, Mont. Even though a 15k gold lead is not insurmountable, it's just the hero matchups that are giving them the biggest issue right now. The best way to start a team fight for Warriors Gaming is to kill the Enigma, like immediately, just blop, get rid of him. That in of itself is very, very difficult to do. Because if that hero's alive, and he's allowed to blink Black Hole, dead hero. That's just how it works right now. So basically, DC are always looking for the fight. They're trying to pressure the lanes, you know, keep Nana from being a nuisance by spamming March everywhere. But they're not really worried about the late game. Whenever you have an Enigma on your team, and you get to this stage, when you have Octarine as well on top of the BKB, my god. And, like, forget about defending your own base. Even if you were to win, like, a couple of fights, how do you end the game?
It's not easy, let me tell you. And it's going to be even harder because Rev is going for a refresher orb, and he might start buying components now. Saving for buyback, I think, is probably more important at this point, but it is looking rough for WarriorsGaming.Unity. And again, like you mentioned, 15,000 net worth is not insurmountable, but they've got to keep these waves pushed out. Nana is doing his damage with the marching machines. They do have pretty good wave clear. So I think what we're waiting on right now for DC is going to be Roshan. It's going to be respawning in a minute and a half. And that's when we'll see DC, if they can get Roche, try to apply the most pressure.
It's the safe play for DC, and there's no reason for them to take any needless risk. No reason to walk up to the tier 3 and give Warriors Gaming an opportunity to set up another really nice static storm like Glenn was able to do. They can just play it slow. Even with, you know, vision around the pit for Warriors Gaming side, they can't ever go into Roshan without a kill first.
My fresh reward.
Well, we're slowing things down a little bit, and a lot of that is just due to Nana's Tinker. I mean, he has the Hex. He's working on a Shiva's Guard next. That'll help.
Yeah, I mean, he's actually farming very well, given the circumstances. He hasn't died too many times outside of just the laning phase. And sure, it's a bit rough, because he started off the game basically getting the wraparound gank, and then there was a ward behind his tower and a ward in front of his tower. They just knew where he was 24/7, and they just sat, right? That was their counterplay to the Chen taking the tier 1. And then when they were fighting bottom, and they were pushing into the tier 1, when Nana didn't have Boots of Travel, they punished them super hard by getting a 5-man and outnumbering them into 4-man, and then pretty much demolished them by the tower. So that was kind of when DC kind of got this advantage, and then since then, it's been really hard for Warriors Gaming to get it back.
Yeah. They are starting to move across the map, trying to take control of the enemy jungle. Nana is doing some crazy plays, moving inside the base, keeping the waves inside the base, doing damage to the tier 3 tower in the meantime. He's doing his damnedest, and they might need a Tinker Ward over here towards this cliff. He just drops it out as soon as I say it. So Dubu has, in fact, dropped the ward down. He also has a Gem of True Sight, so again, vision advantage may go their way for DC if they can find some of these wards on the high ground. But
they actually have both. No, they have 3. Sorry.
Can they they're going to BKB Black Hole this. Can they kill Nana? There's nobody else nearby. He is in some trouble, but they need more follow-up. It's the Blink Telekinesis, but there they go. Hand of God, Sleight of Fist, Searing Chains, the Flame Guard is up, the laser to come through. He will hex him up, but there's the Slithering Crush. They get the kill, and now the BKB is not only from Mason, but from, of course, Kagami as well. Boba, they cannot find the third, but they will take down X-Nova very quickly. That is a huge set of kills going their way. A lot expended there from both sides. BKB's Black Holes, Hand of God. But this is going to lead right into Roshan for Digital Chaos.
That's got to feel so bad, actually. Like, you eat a full duration Black Hole, you don't die, you're like half HP, you get 10 hits, your team gets there just in time to watch you die, and you're like, oh. But, I mean, he has to play this aggressive. You can't fault Nana for what he's doing. He has to push the lanes. If he doesn't push the lanes, they're going to lose map control. And when you don't have map control, DC are going to get Roshan anyway. You know, they're going to get these engagements anyway. Because they're going to be the ones knocking at your door. So, it's being stuck between a rock and a hard place. And Nana, given the start that he had, I think he's actually playing it pretty damn well.
Yeah, his Tinker is pretty solid. I mean, we have yet to see those big combinations of hexes and rearms and stuff like that. And maybe he'll get to that position, but his team needs to help him out. Right now, they're losing their Tier 2 tower. The good news was that they had a Tier 2 tower, so it's not immediately into the Tier 3. Nana has respawned. We'll see if DC can push into the high ground now that Mark is back. But the Tier 3 tower, stop playing. Meanwhile, Hex comes out. Mason might be in trouble. Fable, Telekinesis. They're going to come into the ring. Of course, they want this kill. BKB going forced out and sent back home by the Chen. That will keep him alive, but the Tier 3 will indeed fall. A couple of BKBs used. Now they're going to glimpse back Mason. He has Rage in 5, but also the Aegis. Blink Burrow coming in. He's getting low, and they will take him down as the heat-seeking missiles that do the job. So they've got the Aegis, but the Tier 3 has been taken, and now the Shrines are going to be gone next. But they're going to have the Infest Bomb come out. That'll be into Abed. Looks like they're just going to carry him home. And maybe deal with Nana top. They are jumping up there. They're going to find a Midnight Pulse. Nana going to fall again, and he has to make these plays. But he is dead for 70 more seconds now after that death.
Yeah, that one really sucked. Because he knew that they probably had a Tinker Ward bottom because he had been going there for a while. So he says, okay, I'm not going to go bottom, I'm just going to go top. Because, you know, what are the odds that they actually have 2... Well, at one point they had 3 Tinker Wards down on the map. But I guess that's all you really need because that's the one hero that's stopping you from going high ground. So, unfortunately for Nana, miscalculation, assuming he was safe to go for that play. And DC just jump on it.
And they are now going to jump on the Rax top lane as well. The wave is coming in. Meanwhile, Warriors Gaming are trying to split push bottom, but look how Mason takes this. It's so quick. Meanwhile, Abed is jumping in. The Yule Substitution will save his life, but here we go. Black Hole. It's going to be out into the Hand of God. They will lose one. Can they grab the second? Chuan's going to get dropped. It is a double kill for Abed. Burrow Strike coming in as Sand King is going to buy back, but dies back almost instantly as Abed gets the triple kill, and they're looking for more. Perhaps just to end this game, they're going to head towards the Tier 3 tower. Abed gets the ultra kill. He pretty much dove X-Nova in the well, and the only survivor is Wen, and that is it. They held on for as long as they could, but they will call GG.
A valiant effort from Warriors Gaming. I think their lineup was a lot harder to play, honestly. The Enigma pick from DC was amazing. It did everything they needed to do and more. The reveal of the Blink BKB getting an ultra kill for Mason, like by the Roshan pit near top rune, my god. Like everything for DC kind of just went right. All their smokes, I think, connected as well, which is very uncommon. Usually 1 or 2 smokes misses, but I think every